going to take a few minutes and explain what my yoga is, what the benefits are, and the key techniques for doing my yoga. It's very simple, yet it's very complicated in another way. But the simple parts and what the benefits of those parts are, it's a movement practice that through this, instead of having prescribed asanas or fixed postures that you are in, my yoga is more fluid. It's kind of a combination of Tai Chi and yoga and stretching and conscious movement practices. But the benefits are for your body is you will be toned, flexible, able to have full, greater range of motion. You're releasing tensions from the body. You're strengthening the body. You're keeping it flexible. Your body is personal to you, and the places that need relief from tension or are stiff or are kind of stuck or weak, you will know that better than any particular fixed asana can point you to of how to move into that and where to move. The other part of my yoga that has really been a benefit to me, and I've been doing my yoga since I started developing it 15 years ago, and it's been very important for me to stay both in shape and flexible and toned and strong, but also through the practice of my yoga on a regular basis, it's a practice that is leading you to more presence, more mindfulness, more awareness of your breath, less in the future or the past, but just right here and fully embodied in an enlivened body. My yoga is you're moving in every direction that's possible. I mean, there's millions of different orientations that you can be doing my yoga in, and all of these are activating the body, every movement, and sending signals to the brain, and you're getting more awareness of your body from head to toe, and that's a feeling of being really alive, to really feel, yeah, I'm right here in my body and in my breath, and in this moment right now, and it's fantastic. It's such a burden of relief of all the things that I might otherwise worry about or be freaking about or be terrified of or avoiding. Or those two benefits are fantastic for me. I've just crossed 70 years of age, and there's nothing more important to me than my body and being in an enlivened body, that I have mobility and flexibility and strength. So I'm going to give you now a few of the techniques of my yoga that you'll pick up on, and then from there you personalize them. But the first thing that's very important, I think, is in many things, is to start with an intention. And I start with the intention, I'm just going to stay in my breath and just listen to and observe my body and move into the places that it's telling me where I can feel a little bit of tension, and then how can I move into that tension. But the key is to have an intention to listen and observe. And by listen, I mean just, well, one thing, your body's incredibly noisy. Most of us have never listened to it, so we don't know. But if you start doing my yoga, and I do it without music usually because I want to just be listening to my body. You can do it with music. It's personal, so you can do it however you want it. But I usually do it just in silence, so I'm internal more, and I can really drop down into this place where I'm like, just really, nothing else is going on, but I'm following the movement of this arm and feeling anywhere I feel some tension in it, and I can torque it and rotate it, add another body part in to add to it, and this will lead into the next posture, so to speak, where I feel, now when I moved over in this way, then I started to feel, I could feel some tension into my hip there, so I can start to do different movements. And here's the part that's hard, is getting out of the head and down, dropping into the body. The movements, everything else is simple. But the hard part is to be present with your movement. Be mindful of your movement. Be listening. This is a deep listening practice. And your body is going to be so appreciative of your paying attention to it, because your body's a whole amazing organ system in itself, a sensory system, somatic system that is very intimately connected to our conscious self. It carries us around in the world. It has reflexes. It dodges and moves out of the way. It gets us out of danger. It provides us pleasure, But the more we are connected to our body, the more pleasure we will have in life, the more ease we will be able to be by being present and not so flustered about all the things that may or may not happen, and just to enjoy this moment, because all life is a series of moments. And I know myself, I don't want to waste, I will waste moments, I know, but I want to waste as few as possible. And that means trying to be as present as I can, as frequent as I can. So just move into, you can start any position. You can be sitting down, standing up, laying down, sitting in a chair, in your car, and just begin a movement, and just feel, listen, observe to where do you feel some tension, and then move in to that tension. Move your body in ways that you feel, oh yeah, I'm getting a good stretch into that. Move to where you feel like, oh yeah, that feels so good. That feeling, your body's is thanking you for finding that place. And we have thousands of tensions, muscular tensions, that are often psychologically embedded, that just lock up and are there because we haven't resolved them. So even without doing any kind of psychotherapy or anything, by this movement practice, you can be relieving the tension, and the body can often relieve the complex in the mind that is tense about something. That's a conflict between two different parts. So pace, therefore, is very important, because if you find yourself moving and you notice, oh, I'm not breathing, I'm thinking about what I'm doing tomorrow or what happened yesterday, take a breath right there and slow the movement in half. This is kind of like where it comes in the Tai Chi part, where you're going to make if you're having a difficult time dropping in, just take a very deliberately slow pace. And that slow pace will help you slow down in your mind. And by staying in your breath and coming back to listening, you'll drop into a deeper state, and you'll be fascinated. It is totally fascinating to listen, observe your body and all the things that it can do, and all the ways that it can move, and all the feeling that it has, especially all the relief of tension. Another element of my yoga that I want to let you know about is, besides the movement and the stretching that you can do, you can also use compression. So when you, meaning that you can use the weight of another part of your body to increase the stretch. Say, so you can like lay across your thigh, or put the weight of your chest on your thigh, and really that's given both connection to this part of your body and that part, and you're activating and enlivening it, bringing it into your notice, your awareness, but you're also really giving it extra dimension to the stretch, the amount of stretch. The weight is helping you gain more stretch there. So you can do the same thing with your arms. While you're doing another stretch, intentionally just bring the compression in, and kind of almost massage those areas for a moment while you're moving into some other part of the My Yoga. And I think the final thing that I want to point out to you, besides the pace, this is similar to the pace, but there are places on your body that can be very difficult to access, no matter, you're moving all around and you're not quite, there's a little spot between your shoulders, say, that it's very difficult to get to. Or there's a particular movement or orientation that some of these tensions really require. So just going like this, I'm kind of where I can't quite find it. Say, I can feel the tension, but I'm not moving into it. I can't move into it. So sometimes you can use what I call the nano technique, taking nano movements, so just making very fine adjustments to the movement, so like I'm just moving my head just little increments at a time, or maybe moving this little increments at a time and maybe coming back over them, and I'm looking for that place where there it is, and I know I'm locked on it, and then I can really go into the stretch. I can find these and locate these particular tensions that way, and then go into the stretch. So I think that's all you need to get going with my yoga and get these great benefits of your body enlivened, toned, strong, flexible, mobile, and your mind closer to a state of presence and in your breath and just in your body in this moment right now. That's my yoga.